All right. Oh, lights on. Uh, okay. Good morning. How are people doing? Just got a couple people in. There we go. Just getting some things ready here. Time of day. It's 8 a.m. here. It's extremely weird. Okay. So, Liam, how are you doing? I need to figure out. I guess this is the only thing I could do. We're going to get started here in a second. It's a little too loud for my monitor. Okay. So, why is the chat not showing on screen? Okay, no, it is. Of Faerunian elves. Okay. I think that the languages I'm creating Originally, my idea was to keep them sort of setting neutral. I don't know how actually useful that is because, like a neutral like conlanging a conlang works better if you have more world building detail, and being trying to be setting neutral is going to be difficult. So, uh y'all have seen it with Chisfafu. Chisfafu is you know, the four dialects are based on my own interpretation of the Feywild, which I'm going to call fairy, and it's not like the sort of Forgotten Realms lore and stuff. And so, like, eventually, if I get to doing like more of the like languages of various humanoid races, I probably am going to just develop my own setting for that, you know? That was always going to be the thing. But I am slowly realizing also like the cosmology is going to be my cosmology instead of D&D's Faerun cosmology, because I'm making a whole language. I'll make the whole thing. Um, so today, I actually, so I have said that I'm going to be working on the documentation. I thought of an idea for a fun thing to like start us out is, what is that? How is that? Hold on. Why am I not getting... Hi. Hi, Tabby. How you doing? Let me jump back to the monitor. So, something I want for you early folks, something fun I wanted to start doing is like at the beginning of every stream, we're going to make a word for an animal that exists the um, in the D20 SRD. That way, I can just show this. This is the D20 SRD. It is Creative Commons. So this is something you can use if you are making a supplement for D&D. This is all the stuff that you can use and then sell anywhere, right? So, and I mean, it's not like animal names can be copyrighted anyway. But this also is going to give me a like something to focus on in order to get lots of animal names to start out with. So let's start with we're going to skip over the dinosaurs first because I'm not entirely sure what to do with dinosaurs yet. Like, Allosaurus, Ankylosaurus. Are those going to be roots? Maybe? I don't know. Um, will they call them lizards? Will they call them what? You know? Um, ape. Now, let's take a look at this. So, what is the size? So, this is a medium sized beast. So, what kind of ape is this? Is the first place. I think I will make a word for a particular type of ape because this, like, when you just say ape, um, and I don't know if apes actually, if non-human apes actually use their fists that much. This thing probably should have uh, a bite attack, right? But really behind on conlang year. Yeah, that's. I think conlang year is a great thing for a lot of people. Unfortunately, I am not good at doing it. I'm not in a good situation for doing it because my schedule is so unpredictable, right? Um, Hi Nemo. They'll call dinosaurs birds. I I did say at the beginning of this series that they do not care about cladistics. Um, my question is like I'm sort of establishing that dinosaurs do exist in fairy, but I don't know how they relate to the fae and like how common are they? Are there fae that have existed since the time of the dinosaurs, and so then they might have roots for them or more descriptive things? Yeah, but I think yeah, the problem I have with ape here is we can do a little research on this. Let me jump it to here so I can open this up and get the right profile up. Can you tell that I was running late getting the stream started? Okay, so let's look up the great apes. Because we're talking about uh, hominidae. I'm assuming, right? I'm assuming that when D&D says ape, they're talking about some kind of non-human hominid, non-human ape, right? And so let's look up orangutans, gorillas, and pan. And we're not thinking about humans, right? Now orangutans. I think I would want to be particular about orangutans. They're a very like particular thing. What I want to see is how big is a gorilla? How big is a gorilla? Troglodytes gorilla? Gorilla. Okay. Largest living primates reaching heights between 1.25 and 1.8 meters. Now, um, do they have the size categories in here? Let's see. Probably would be under species, right? Okay. Playing the game has information on size. Okay, creature size 5 feet by 5 feet. So even a gorilla would still be medium size. So we go back to ape, where that's going into medium size. Pan troglodytes, the the chimpanzees. And we'd probably be gone chimpanzees. Why would you fight a bonobo? Yeah. So I think that anatomy and physiology. Chimpanzee's arms are larger than its legs. The male common chimp stands up to 1.2 meters or 3.9 feet high. So chimpanzees are shorter than humans. And so if we try to find it doesn't say anything about like both small and medium occupy a 5 foot square. But I think that when they're talking about ape, they're talking about something about the size of a gorilla. Not that a gorilla would attack you as readily as a as like a combat thing. I think chimpanzees are more likely to actually fight you. But I think if you're talking about medium size, that's a gorilla because chimps are chimps are 3 feet tall. That's like the size of a halfling. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's probably medium small. So let's coin a word for gorillas. Primarily herbivorous. Let's take a look at their behavior. I think that they're mostly active during the day. Wait, okay. Yeah, okay. So they make their nests an hour before dusk, and then they sleep for about 12 hours. So they're basically active during the day. Let's jump in and create some forms. And this is going to be participatory. This is going to be participatory. I will do a God, yeah. Okay. They sleep for 12 hours and they make their nest before dusk. They probably are not that. I think we probably want to loan from day. The other thing is they live near the equator. So, okay, can apply. And let's actually grab. I'm not going to. I'm just going to grab the. That's good. I'm going to put the suffix on all of these so that we have this good. Got the export. And I'm going to actually go and get the day sound changes. Because y'all, why is there an error? Why would... Oh, that's interesting. Pyud. We should be able to have. We should be able to have that. Oh. Why is that happening? Paid. Okay. I need to adjust a rule. Should be the gliding rule. Any not long. So interesting. So anything that's not okay. Quickly. Oh, it's immediately getting messed up. Okay. So I'm going to go and say this does not happen if it is after. Hi, Matisse. Oh, it should. I need to have the underscore to show. It should be after. Does that? Hopefully that doesn't break other things. Why does it not make sense? Can I? This is so. Okay. Two. So is anything. Did. This is along anyway. I think that we're safe with that. Xiu, xiu, Paiyu. Paiyu is actually pretty cool. Guys, y'all. Okay. So, this is a day term that's going to be loaned into Dawn and Dusk. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a poll. I think I do want to do a straw poll. And what is our day word for gorilla? This is just our warm-up thing to get us started, and then we're going to go into documentation stuff. Okay. So export. I like Pi. I like Twill. This is gonna be I think this is okay to have this way here. Twill. We're gonna have y'all, and one more. Silwo could end up with some interesting things. I think that's good. And then we're going to do a ranking poll and give you guys give you guys 5 minutes on that. Probably a little more. Today, let's actually go 8:45. Create the poll and share that. Copy that. Does that go to the right place? There we go. It pops up. There we go. Okay, so go and rank that. Be watching the results over here. And then I am going to jump back in and let's talk about. Hello. Hello, Nemo. How are you doing? How many people do we have here? So let's go ahead. Let's make file, new document. And we're going to go Dusk. And what is our name for Dusk? We need to go find it here. Dusk is and I'm going to say this is actually, I get the right keyboard up. I'm gonna edit the I'm gonna have to edit my Lexergy in a minute. I think, yeah, that's too much lag. That's better. Okay. So I have decided that my rule is going to be if the if we have rounding here, um, tree, tree. I think also we're going to have this. So two rules in the Dawn and Dusk dialects is if this is rounded and this is rounded, then they have to match in frontness. Okay, so u, wu will become yu, right? Also, I'm gonna uh, I'll have to just adjust the thing so that when this becomes the affricate ch, it retains the yue, okay? Because, like, at the very least, if it is rounded, like, it's going to have that. I'm kind of taking a page from Mandarin on that one because in Mandarin Chinese, this sound, these three sounds, the sha, the cha, I'll find it, and the ja, and the ja, right? These three can only occur in one of two places. They can occur before a front. They can occur before a front vowel, or they can occur with some kind of palatalization. So you can have xia, you can have xi, you can have qi, ji, jia, jiao, but you cannot have in Mandarin sa. It doesn't exist. Or zhou. You have to have the palatalization or a front vowel there. So I'm gonna kind of take a page from that. I think in the case of Mandarin, that actually makes in the case of Mandarin, this actually makes the status of these kind of ambiguous. Are they phonemes or are they not? I think the general argument is that they're not phonemic. However, it's not super clear what they're allophones of. Which I'll probably actually have a video touching on that and touching on that phenomenon generally in language, because it's actually quite fascinating how that can happen. Has to do with the history and how it came from two different sources. Bonjour, Senor Avocado. Or senior avocado, I mean. Senior Avocado in 1864. That's a name. Okay. And we'll end up with a little intro here. It's the usual. Let me bring up my Obsidian. I've been just using dialect, and it should be. Yeah. So in Dawn, this is called Biyu. In Dusk, it's bijou. The bijou. The bijou of the court of the waxing moon. Of the dusk. Autumn. Had something similar with Vasnot, both Tia and Kia became Kia. Yeah. That's something. This is not an issue actually with it's not really an issue with this language, because I believe that the source for ch and that's all velars. So you could call them all allophones of velars, although I think that there are going to be situations where they do exist on their own and do contrast with the velars. So they're going to be actually phonemic here. I was just talking about, like, in Chinese, that particular situation occurred because both the velars and the dentals palatalized to the same sounds, and it causes this ambiguity where, like, you can make reasonable arguments for different phonemes that they're allophones of. It's an interesting thing that can happen, and it might be somewhere down the road. It might be something I do a video on if after I'm planning on doing like an intro conlanging series, and at first it's just going to be how to make a conlang sort of with typology stuff, and then later on introduce historical stuff, and that will be like maybe sort of an advanced thing in historical. Like, okay, sometimes it's possible to construct sound changes that make it ambiguous whether something's a phoneme or an allophone, or what exactly it's an allophone of, right? Yeah, more intro conlang stuff. Yeah, my initial plan was to write a book, an RPG book with a bunch of dice tables that also would teach conlanging. But I think actually it might be best for me to first start with a video series that is just straight up conlanging stuff, not the dice tables and stuff. And like later on, I can write that book if I find the time for it, right? Yeah. So yeah. And by the way, I am making my way through Jesse's book. I think I just finished chapter 10. It's been slow going because, number one, I have 3 daughters, so time is scarce. And number two, the way that I want to read it so that I can actually review it, I've got to be like taking a lot of notes in the margins and stuff, and it takes time. So that's another thing. And also, yeah, so that review is coming. There was also another conlanging book, textbook that came out last year by Carolina Gonzalez that I also am going to read. I've taken a look at it. I don't want to bias people too much up front. But like her conlang section, her section on like types of conlangs is not as good, and I have some questions about the organization, but I'm gonna read through it. I mean, it's not like I can say Jesse's book is 100% perfect either, because everything has any book like that is going to have, is going to be have good parts and maybe like small flaws around. So I need to read both of them and do like a comparison, I think. Yeah. I finally got the book at the end of. Yeah. It's something you want to read slowly, and if you actually want to follow it. By the way, um, let's just say they and autumn. And then we will. Um, Nothing is perfect. Everything is questionable. Yeah. How much is a book? So I will say I can't I you know um it's a textbook. Let's see if I can just find it this way. Oh, there's a wiki book on Conley. Okay. How to create a language. Somebody asked how much a book is. Yeah, so this is Jesse's book. It is a textbook. Um, it's not that bad for a textbook. So the paperback is $32.99. Hardback is $100. So maybe you don't want to get the hardback. The paperback is not that bad considering this is Cambridge University Press, right? So that's cool. And also, you can get the e-textbook. So whether you prefer electronically, they're both the same price. So it kind of depends on, do you prefer a physical book or you prefer electronic? Yeah. 32, yikes. Well, it's a textbook. It's meant to be used in university classes. So that generally carries a premium, especially since it is published by Cambridge University Press. I don't know. So that's something you'll have to go to the site and go through the ordering process to see you. It may be available on Amazon, which means you yeah. Yeah, you can search around. That was just the Cambridge University site. You can search around and see if there's other better deals elsewhere. But Trika Fufu Trika Fufu, the language of dusk. Yeah, of course. Textbooks are expensive. Let's jump in So let's go and look at our notes. And let's take a look at, so this is the phonemic inventory that we discovered for Dusk. So, phonology. Let's go consonant inventory. Heading 2. And I believe this is accurate. I'm not seeing anything that we have since found is not in the language or anything that's missing. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna necessarily advocate piracy, but and then so let's say let's this is the inventory. Let's go and put the romanization in here, and this is put a hot check. Am I not on Euro Latin? Okay. Hey, what? Why are we not? Okay. Okay. And this is the. This is G. This is TH. This is DH. Oh, I remember now. These do not exist. Right? Do they? Let's just quickly double check this. Bijou. So let me double check my sound changes. There may be some edge cases where these glides do still occur, but I need to make sure. So let's import the Dusk, the latest version of Dusk. Oh, I had like one change. I had to make a new one. Open. Okay, so how do the glidification work? How does glidification work? No, Mateus. I do not. Okay, so WV goes to V except after a consonant. And both yeah and we'll go to je, except after a consonant. Now, that except after a consonant is just to ensure that I get palatalization and labialization. So that's fine. That's not actually producing that. So what I need to say is there are no glides in this language. So we need to delete this row. There is an L. Yeah, so these glides do not exist. And then do I put palatalized and labialized on the chart? That's a question. I don't think that it needs to work that way. So like if you look at a Mandarin phonology chart, they do not put it. However, I think the argument there is that underlyingly all of the palatalization and labialization is coming from a glide that becomes that, right? Which, now, I have a lot of inspiration from Celtic languages, and then in Irish language, when they write the Irish, they do actually have, they call it the broad and slender, and they put it on an IPA chart. I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna have it as a note. And then we want, there we go. By following the consonant with Y, W, W, or W umlaut, respectively. Okay. Okay, and Okay, just catching up. Senior Avocado. So, in terms of the ordering of your, I don't know whether you're asking about orthography or romanization. I assume you're asking about like native orthography, which for this language we're not at that stage yet. For these languages, we're not at that stage yet. Um, what I will say is that is just kind of up to you. So the the Japanese order basically fits with how the syllabaries are structured. Okay, you usually present it in a chart, and then um, each consonant has a row and each vowel has a column, and that's how they get that right. Um, Yeah, and Matthijs has it correct. It is culturally arbitrary. The the order of our alphabet is just completely arbitrary. It's just like they were in a certain order um, in the Phoenician alphabet, and as that evolved into other writing systems, um, there was some continuation of that order, and also there were like new letters, that new characters that were added, that were either put at the end or put like right after another letter as a variant, or different things. um, Different letters were inserted, a couple letters got shuffled around, but yeah. Something I learned a little while back is that the use of alphabetical order as an organizing principle is like relatively new. Um, if you go back like 500 years and look at how books are organized, they don't use alphabetical order. They'll use like hierarchical orders, or based on like semantic categories. Um, Alphabetical order came much more recently, sort of, I think, with more literacy, and also like with wanting to have I don't know what I would say. It's just I don't know why it didn't stops. Okay, but yeah. Okay, so let's get the vowels.
Yeah. Yes.
And let's grab that from here. This, I think, is accurate. And we just have two things to do for the romanization. Is we've got, in romanization, this is U umlaut, and this is O. We can get into like the details of that, and then Okay, so that is save Sylvan. Let's go. We'll start the same template. However, this is for the Dawn dialect, which is Picha 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 Picha. So again, we're going to make this rule the same for both of them. Picha 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 Picha. Yeah, the Nordic runes. So that one reordered it pretty significantly. And then that's the title, and we want similar structure. So, okay, and this is Bijou of the Court. I think Bijou is going to be like the neutral version that I use. And so, phonology. Let's get this. So let's go back. We'll go up to here. We have retroflexes. So, and let's actually, do the retroflexes still exist? Have to double check that. So let's pull up the Dawn. So we have retroflex affrication. If it's palatalized, it becomes strident. Retroflex palatal merge. Okay, so that's right. So if we have some retroflexes here. So you still have some retroflexes, but I think we need to carefully think of yes. So we do not have any retroflex affricates. So we have the same Oh, I need to actually. And actually, I need to. So I noticed that I'm doing this IPA in the Africa and this in the. I need to figure out what's the difference between those two and decide which one I actually want to do, because it should be consistent between both, right? And then see if I can type this correctly. You're using no. No. What is it? So under dot. Okay. There we go. Okay. And we are going to actually notate this. And this is just an R. This is a Y, and this is W umlaut. This is G. I forgot to put no, I did have that. And this is KH. And then I need to, if I understand correctly, I may have to we do have one ejective fricative. Just the I have to see if we get the or but I believe it's just that we have due to the way the sound changes work. Which you can see right here. Pich a, pich a, pich a, pich a, okay. And then I can go, let's go back to the dusk one, because this is going to be the same. This thing is also here. Okay. So that is constants there, and then this is all a lot of organization work, but I just feel like this is stuff that has to be done sometimes. Sometimes you just need to like have your documentation in order. Now, this is different. We're going to have to change. These long vowels are not distinctive anymore. Can we get the... So how do we get this ah and ah? I don't think we get... Let's get the... Andrewy. Yeah, so we can get an ah. I think I'll just take the length marker off of it. All, I think all is not actually a thing anymore. Let me double check the sound changes again. So this is dawn. This is dusk. I want dawn. Why I have them reversed from how I usually do. And then let's go down to see. So in the diphthong simplification, you do get a appears. So this gets killed and then reappears. Trying to find. You say, if I just insert an ah in here, or this one. Oh, it's like there we go. What? Oh. Apparently you still do get it. Trying to figure out where it would come from in the first place. Some kind of a backing rule. Because I did not account for it in here at all. I'm going to actually sort of assume that that's not there. If we ever run into a situation where it does occur, then obviously I'm going to have to fix that. What was I looking at? Yeah. So, val inventory. This is E. This does occur unexpectedly. Sort of marginally occurs. We have O, which is not long. Okay. Okay. And then, okay. I should have had some water. Hey, baby. Can I have some water? Thank you so much. Okay. And we'll get in. We'll get the tone information and stuff too. But let's actually pause for a second. I kind of forgot about my poll. So let's. The results came in. People want Paiyu. So what we want to do is we need to go back here. We want to believe it's this one. We want to go into Elder Sylvan, and then we want to go to Middle Sylvan, Paiud, from Pay. A noun, class 2, and gorilla? I don't know if it meant gorilla at this stage or not. But we get to day, and in day, it's Paiyu. 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 And that is and at this point it definitely means gorilla. Gorilla. Big gorilla. Oh no. And then in Dawn, let's copy this. Oh, I need to actually get the whole paradigm. Let me get the whole paradigm. So we want to have pay here. Pay. And go jump into this. Then we go here. Why did I get a column? Then we get the day forms. And we're going to do the agentive derivation for this. And if anybody's wondering why I still do day in IPA, it's just I haven't gotten around to writing your Romanizer for it. So let's go here, and then we go to Dawn. This definitely, absolutely just means gorilla in Dawn. Pai. So Pai. So Pai in Dawn, in day. However, now with our new rule, I think we're going to say that this becomes a front. And so we need to have pai instead of pau, which is a little bit, so makes it actually kind of an interesting word, because an herbivore class should have had an oo vowel there, but like it ended up going a little bit odd. We could have also gone the other way and just had the rule itself apply and make it pau. Actually, let's actually just have a quick up and or down vote. Which do you prefer? We're going to say, do you want way which Dawn adaptation of what is the do you prefer? Is it going to be Pi Yu? This should be a W. Right. Or Pa Wu. Start the poll. These other ones we can still do just on. So Pai Fu. This is another thing that might be influenced here by these ones. That's another thing to keep in mind. Pai Free. Pai Free. Pai Free. And then this is going to follow from this, so I'll wait for the poll results. Let's say we got 4 votes. How many people are here? Okay, I think people are pretty solidly in favor of the Pawu. Actually, people like Pawu. That does preserve the correct marking. Pawu. I think actually we can say that this marginally exists. The Pawuzi debating. Debating, should I have this like that or should I make it G? What was the original? Pawuji Hui. Pawuji Hui. Pai Hui. Is there? Okay. And this is from Day Pai. Now, Dusk. Ursinate? I don't know what ursinate is. Now, Normally, I would say like paju. Is there a way for that to happen? Or would it always be paju? So if we're coming from dawn, it would just become pavu. But since it's coming today from day, maybe we can preserve the palatal. I'm just thinking about in what circumstances do we preserve. Let's see. I'm just gonna like scratch if we have a root pure root pure. Right, it's pure. And that goes through sound changes in dusk. It needs to be cure. Right. And that goes through sound changes in dusk. What happens here? It becomes che. Okay. Che. So we didn't have. We go back to the original, like the proto-Fey sound changes. The proto-Fey. We did not have the yeah. And we go to Middle Fey. Middle Fey still didn't have it. It's something that emerges in the modern dialects. So the thing about Pajwu is that it could only ever occur in day loans, I think. Because if you have a root that is Q, right? PQ. Not Pach. Let's add a consonant to it. Pakut. Pachu. Right. Pachu. Okay, so you can get Pachu. So if you can get Pachu, you can probably get Paju. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. I think Paju is a reasonable adaptation. So the deal is this sound doesn't occur independently in Dusk anymore. Um, so it has to go to something. It typically, like historically, it went to um, Paj, right? When I was trying to figure out, like, can I get a joie and get jou instead of je? And I think I can. So pajou, pajou, and this is the the pajou the pajou pajou the, and then this is pai fu pai fu pai fu pai fu. Hmm. Pai fu, and this is pai pai free pai free pai free. Oh, what am I doing? Pai free pai free. So pajou pajou pai fu pajou pajou the pai free. Okay, so we have made one animal word for gorilla, and that'll be our word we do for D&D apes, and then we can go next time. I may actually go ahead and do some more uh, of these also, like as a daily Blue Sky thing too. Okay, so we got about 10 minutes. I think we can go ahead and okay, write out the tone section, which is going to be so. Two tone has two marked tones. Stressed syllables must have a tone which is most commonly high tone. Most unstressed syllables are toneless. High tone is indicated with an acute accent. And low tone with a grave accent. When a tone falls on the high front rounded vowel, it is combined with the umlaut to form a double acute or double grave. And I'm going to have to change just a few things. Commonly a low tone. And or vowels this one, or I don't think it's not going to be super common to have be toned, but it's possible. Possibly with loans from day or night. Well, not from night. Night doesn't have tones. Okay, actually, no. Stress syllables except loan words. And then usually, because there are cases where it can be toneless because of the way tonogenesis worked in Tricafoufu, in Tricafoufu, the what happened was that the tonogenesis happened before we inserted a schwa after the schwa and made the zh, sh, and sh non-syllabic by adding a schwa. So in those cases, I can show you examples. So you end up with like biopja. It's not biopja. It's biopja because it comes from this bilpjn the pshn, the pshn, like it wasn't until tone of justice actually happened that we made this non-syllabic and added a schwa to it, and then that became an a vowel eventually. But by that time, we were not applying tonogenesis, and we just didn't have it, right? Um, Dawn, like in the Dawn version of that, you have Bilge, because it got the low tones on stressed syllables after that happened. Yeah. So that's cool. That's just a different situation in the two of them, and is that Dusk can just on its own get toneless stressed syllables, whereas Dawn just like almost never will get that. Will not get that unless it's a loan word. And here, say Edgerja, it got that from Dawn, and that's why it has a tone on it. Okay, but yeah, Jibja. Why is this celestial? Or is it not? No, it was just Deepin. That's something I can work with later. Because the rest of the paradigm is Jifiza. Well, no, it's gonna look like a celestial noun. I think I'm gonna use that for something like when we do Elvish or something. They're gonna misinterpret that as celestial and call it, use it for meteor or something. Yeah, I think that's all that I'm going to organize for today. And then we have to do some analysis before we like figure out the phonotactics, because phonotactics have changed quite a bit. So that maybe next time we're gonna like actually sort of try to define the phonotactics of each one of these, and do just like a sort of a write up note on that to get an idea of like what are phonotactics in these languages. And gradually we will work our way into like morphology and syntax, and then we'll be looking at all the constructions individually. But looks like we did pretty good. What is ursinate? I'm gonna look up what the ursinate is. What the heck? Okay, that's interesting. Thank you for mentioning that to me, Matthijs. It's a sound poem. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Me Uh, wait, what? Okay, let's. Okay. Thank you all for watching. I will get these up probably later today on the Patreon. It's not really new information, but it's interesting. I'm sure to have it like separated out. But until then, and until next week, I'm gonna say.